Welcome back, everyone. Get ready for another gripping chapter in the journey of Tuna and Kiet. Today's episode dives deep into emotional territory as the shadows of Tuna's past begin to resurface. Just when things seem to be settling down, her ex-husband reappears. And let's just say, he's not here to play nice. What are his true intentions? Will Tuna and Kiet stand strong together? Or will this unexpected twist shake their bond to the core? It's a roller coaster of trust, betrayal, and tough decisions, and we're here for all of it. If you've been following their story, you won't want to miss this one. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's dive into the drama. Hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. Things are about to get intense. Today marks a new beginning for Kiet. He's no longer the man hauling lumber under the sun or stacking boards late into the evening. Gone are the long days of back-breaking labor and splinters in his hands. Now, he steps into a new role, one that comes with responsibility, respect, and a broader vision. Kiet has officially been promoted. As a supervisor, he now oversees daily operations at the factory, making sure the machines run smoothly and the workers stay safe and productive. But he doesn't just sit in an office barking orders. Kiet shows up early, before the hum of machines fills the air, walking the floor, inspecting every piece of equipment. He checks, double checks, ensuring that when the team arrives, everything is ready. No delays, no risks. What sets Kiet apart isn't just his dedication, it's his heart. He doesn't just manage from a distance, he leads by example. You'll still find him rolling up his sleeves, lending a hand when something jams, or a worker is overwhelmed. He listens, he checks in, he cares. In a world where authority often disconnects leaders from their people, Kiet is the exception. His team respects him not just because he wears a title, but because they know he's been in their shoes. He's carried the weight, felt the pressure, and now he's using that experience to make things better for everyone around him. This isn't just a career move. It's a transformation, a quiet, powerful evolution of a man who never stopped pushing forward. And as he walks through those factory doors each morning, there's a calm confidence in his stride. Kiet has stepped into his own, and this is just the beginning. While Kiet was settling into his new role at the factory, Tuna was already up with the sun, starting her own day of hard work, one built on resilience, love, and quiet determination. It was market day. The summer heat had barely begun to rise, but Tuna knew it would be brutal. With a small child at home, she made the difficult but necessary decision to leave her daughter in the care of her husband's older sister, a woman who had been like a second mother to Tuna, especially during her hardest years. That bond of sisterhood, born not just of blood, but of compassion, gave Tuna the strength and peace of mind she needed to push forward. Her mission? To gather the freshest sweet corn directly from local farmers and get it to the market before the morning rush. Timing was everything. Freshness meant value, and every sale mattered. She moved quickly through the fields, carefully selecting each ear of corn, her hands working with speed and precision. This wasn't just business, it was survival, and she had no room for delay. By the time she reached the bustling marketplace, the sun was high, and the heat was already pressing down like a weight. But Tuna didn't flinch. She laid out the corn neatly, its bright green husks and golden silk catching the eye of early shoppers. Within moments, people began to gather around her stall. They knew her, they trusted her, and more importantly, they trusted the quality of what she brought. Her fresh corn sold fast. One customer turned into two, then five, then a crowd. The sweat on her brow, the aching in her feet, it was all worth it. This was a win. A small one maybe, but meaningful. Every ear of corn sold was one step closer to a better life for her daughter. Tuna's journey isn't flashy. It's not filled with grand moments or big speeches, but in the quiet rhythm of her days, in the way she shows up for her child, for her family, for herself, there's a kind of strength that speaks louder than words. And today, she won. One fresh harvest, one grateful customer at a time. While Tuna was hustling through the morning heat, selling corn with a hopeful heart, a shadow was quietly moving in on the other side of town. A figure from her past, someone who once shared her home, her life, and her pain, was now stepping back into the picture. Her ex-husband had been keeping tabs on her, and more importantly, on Kiet. Ever since he found out about Kiet, the man Tuna now spoke about with a light in her eyes he hadn't seen in years, something shifted inside him. Whether it was jealousy, guilt, or something darker, no one could say for sure. But one thing was clear. He didn't want Kiet and Tuna to be happy, and he had a plan. That morning, dressed in plain work clothes, Tuna's ex stood outside the wood factory where Kiet had just been promoted. He watched for a moment, studying the gates, the workers, the flow of the day. Then, with a determined breath, he stepped inside. He didn't come with a resume. He didn't need one. What he needed was access. He approached Kiet directly, casually, like a man just looking for a job. "Hey, I heard there might be an opening here. I've got experience in woodworking, cutting, loading, whatever you need. I'm not picky. Just want to work." Kiet turned to him, welcoming as always. He had no idea who this man really was, just another guy trying to earn an honest living. "We're always open to hardworking people," Kiet replied with a smile. "You've done this kind of work before?" "Yeah, years in it. I had a rough patch, trying to start over. Figured this place could be a fresh beginning." Kiet nodded. Something in the guy's story hit home. He remembered hearing bits and pieces from other workers, a man who lost everything, trying to get back on his feet. Kiet believed in second chances. "All right," Kiet said, extending a hand. "Let's give it a shot. I'll set you up with the floor team to start. We'll see how it goes." The man shook his hand firmly, hiding the storm that churned inside him. What Kiet didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that the man he'd just hired wasn't looking for redemption. He was looking for control, for leverage, for a way to wedge himself back into Tuna's life and quietly drive a stake between her and the only man who'd shown her true care in years. As the ex was led to his assigned station, he glanced back at Kiet, calm, focused, unaware. It was a look not of respect, but of calculation, and just like that, the game began. Kiet, always the optimist, had welcomed a snake into the garden, and now, without knowing it, he stood on the edge of something far more personal than any workplace challenge. Because sometimes, the biggest threats don't come from the outside, they walk right through the front door. This was only the beginning. Kiet never saw it coming. To him, this was just another man, a down-on-his-luck worker, trying to piece his life back together. Kiet didn't ask too many questions. He didn't judge. That wasn't his way. If someone showed up asking for help, Kiet did what he always did. He gave it. A job, a chance, a clean slate. It's just who he was. But what he didn't know was that this man wasn't just anyone. He was the man from Tuna's past, the one who broke her, the one who left scars far deeper than anyone on the outside could see, the father who walked away, the husband who hurt more than he ever helped. And now, Kiet had unknowingly brought him back into their lives. At first, it was innocent, just a new worker on the floor, a name, a face, a handshake. But what happens when Kiet finds out the truth? When he realizes that the man he just welcomed into his team, into his trust, is the very person Tuna tried so hard to escape? How will he react when the puzzle pieces start to fit? When the stories Tuna quietly told over dinner, the ones filled with pain and silence, suddenly have a face, a voice, a presence now standing just a few feet away from him, day after day. Because Kiet isn't just Tuna's partner, he's her protector, her steady place. The man who stayed when others ran, who showed love, not just in words, but in action, especially toward her daughter, who had slowly come to see him as more than just mom's friend. So what happens when that past comes knocking at the factory door? Not with apologies, but with intentions. Right now, Kiet believes he's helping. That's the heartbreaking part. In his kindness, he thinks he's doing the right thing, helping a lost man find his way, never realizing that he's opened a door Tuna never wanted unlocked again. The question is no longer if Kiet will find out. It's when. And when he does, the real test begins. Not just of his strength, but of his heart. Because protecting someone isn't just about loving them when things are easy. It's about standing in the fire with them when their past tries to burn it all down. Kiet, with all his quiet strength and unwavering kindness, has no idea that a storm is already forming right under his roof. He's extended his hand in good faith, but sometimes good intentions aren't enough to stop the damage someone else is ready to cause. Meanwhile, Tuna remains unaware that the man she left behind is inching closer, not just to her, but to the life she's finally started to rebuild. The peace, the hope, the future she's fought so hard for is now in danger. What happens when truth finally comes to light? What will Kiet do when he sees not just the man, but the pain he brought with him? One thing is certain, this story isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. Stay tuned, because next time, the past catches up and no one walks away unchanged.
Trước cổng xưởng gỗ nơi Kiet đang làm việc, một người đàn ông lặng lẽ đứng nhìn vào bên trong. Gương mặt anh ta không lộ rõ cảm xúc, nhưng ánh mắt lại toan tính và lạnh lẽo. Đó chính là chồng cũ của Tuna, người mà cô từng cố gắng rũ bỏ khỏi cuộc đời mình sau khi biết được Kiet là người mà Tử Nha nhắc đến trong những cuộc trò chuyện. Người đàn ông bắt đầu nhen nhóm một ý định âm thầm tiếp cận Kiet, theo dõi từng bước đi của anh và bằng cách nào đó khiến cho Kiet và Tử Nha không tiếp tục bên nhau. Không để mất thời gian, chúng ta tiến thẳng vào bên trong xưởng, gặp Kiet. Giờ đây, đang ở cương vị quản lý mới, anh ta giả vờ là một người xa lạ, chỉ đơn giản đang tìm kiếm một công việc để mưu sinh. Chào anh, tôi ở đây đang tuyển người. Tôi từng làm ở vài xưởng gỗ, không ngại vất vả miễn là có việc để sống, anh ta nói với giọng thật giả tạo. Kiet, như bao lần khác, vẫn với sự tử tế và bao dung của cách nhìn của người khác, anh không hề nhận ra trước mặt mình là ai. Anh cũng chẳng hề biết quá khứ đằng sau gương mặt đã từng khiến Tử Nha đau khổ như thế nào. mang máng vài câu chuyện về người đàn ông từng mất tất cả.